Hey, it's me, Kevin, from the internet, and these are 5 tips for the start of the wipe. This video is aimed at beginners, but there might be still something in here if you've played for a while. If you want to see more intermediate and advanced guides, then check out the rest of the channel. There's a bunch of them up already. If you want to learn how to do PvP, then I suggest checking out the Breakdown series. It's all about PvP and tactics. It will be linked on screen about now and down below in the description. If you enjoy what I do, then please do subscribe and leave a like on the video. I also live stream 5 days a week over at twitch.tv/krashed. Feel free to ask me anything about the game there. Last but not least, if you are a player that is looking to team up with our community, make sure you join our Discord. All the links will be down in the description. Last thing I want to say before we dive into it is that you might have a free in-game gift from Battlestate Games depending on when you bought the game. Go to escapefromtarkov.com, log into their website and check your profile. Scroll down to see if you have this gift or not and go ahead and accept it. Then, when you log into the game, you'll have a message from System giving you a bunch of nice stuff to keep and or sell to start leveling up your traders. It's best to not get used to the game being this nice because this will most likely be the only friendly thing you'll experience in Tarkov for a good while. So, welcome to Tarkov. Point 1. Preparations for your first raid. The first thing you should do when opening the game is to visit all of the traders. Examine the items from their stock. You can do this quickly by hovering over the item and pressing the middle mouse button or the scroll wheel. Do all the traders and visit back on Vance from time to time. His stock changes every now and then. Don't trust this guy though, even though he has a cool hoodie. This guy will rip you off where you stand. Be careful buying things off him because he will be very expensive and also give you almost nothing for the things you sell to him. Best way to treat him is like a garbage can. Sell him the stuff that other traders will not buy anymore. Like completely broken armors and visors when you get them later. Examining the different items in the menu will save you the time from needing to do so during a raid. For example, if you find a backpack or a chest rig, you can't equip them on your character until you've examined it. Needing to do this during the in-game looting process takes up valuable time. The more time you spend out and exposed, the bigger chance you'll have catching a bullet with your face. Basically anything that's unexamined, your character will not know to do with. Want to reload a gun you found off a Scav but haven't examined the mag yet? Yeah, that's not going to happen in Tarkov. Your trained military guy does not know how anything works unless he's examined it. So after you're done examining the majority of the items, it's time to pick up the beginner quests from Proper and Therapist. You can visit them and then go to their task tab at the top of the screen. Accept all of the quests at any time you get access to them. They are not on a timer or anything, so you can do them in your own pace. Best to just accept them and get them started now so you can already start progressing in them and not forget about it later. Finally, we need to prepare some basic medical items. If you've examined the items from Therapist, you'll see she sells a good bunch of medical items. The major health issues we get to deal with in Tarkov as of right now are health damage. If your 4x or head drop to 0 health, you die. Then there's bleed damage. Bleeds will drain your HP over time and there are now light bleeds and heavy bleeds, each with their own way of treating them. Next up, there's fractures. You break your bones from time to time, be it from fall damage or from tanking a shotgun blast with your kneecap. And finally, there's the state which we call blacked out limbs. Your limbs all have their own individual health pools and if they drop to 0, they will be blacked out. Again, if your 4x or head drops to 0 HP and gets blacked out, you will die. If it's your legs, then you'll start limping and you find yourself unable to run. If it's your arms, they will make it so that you loot slower and you're slower to aim down your sights. So, what do you need to deal with all these ailments? At level 1 Therapist, your options are limited. There is no way currently for you to deal with blacked out limbs other than using a painkiller to temporarily alleviate the problem slightly. Put some basic meds in your secure container. Items in this container will never be lost on death. I typically put my meds in there and then swap them out for better stuff if I find any during a raid. From Therapist level 1, get a car kit to deal with both HP loss and to fix up a light bleed. Get an S-March tourniquet, the thing that kind of looks like a dog collar, to fix heavy bleeds. Get a splint to fix fractures and perhaps an additional bandage or a strip of painkillers. Then in the pockets I typically run 2 AI2 medkits for HP recovery. They're the yellow cheese things. They look like a slice of cheddar that you'd find on a hamburger in the fast food chain. Then I put a strip of painkillers in my other pocket slot. Painkillers are arguably the best med item in the game, and those of you who've been around the channel for a while know that whenever in doubt, you should always pop a pain. Point 2. Picking your starter weapon. Weapon and ammo choices are very limited at level 1 traders. My go-to for level 1 used to be always the Mosin, but since you can't even one-shot a naked guy in the chest with the starting ammo anymore, there is zero point in using this currently overpriced bolt action. The SKS from proper level 1 is a decent pick, although not my personal go-to. It has an internal mag of 10 rounds and fires the 7.62 by 39 caliber. The PS ammo, also sold by proper, is decently strong and can take an opponent down in a few well-placed hits. Be careful not to blow through your load too quickly though, as the reloading with the internal mag is painstakingly slow. This slow reloading animation can be cancelled by clicking the left mouse, but this will often leave you exposed and will get you killed. On top of that, the iron sights aren't all that great either. If you happen to find a rechargeable battery during a raid, you can go to Skier and barter it for an ADAR. The ADAR paired with the M855 ammo sold by Peacekeeper is a viable option early game. You have access to the 30 round mags, also from Peacekeeper from the start, and this weapon is, in my eyes, a better alternative to the SKS. Keep in mind that if you go for this barter, you will still need to go to Peacekeeper to purchase a rear sight. Running guns without sights is a bad idea because this will mess up your accuracy. The rear sight for the ADAR can be bought from Peacekeeper for $9. If you don't have a rechargeable battery to barter, my personal go-to would be the Glock 17, sold by Mechanic level 1 with 17 round mags and the 9x19 PST bullets. Although not as powerful as the ADAR, it will get the job done with a well-placed headshot or a few body shots against low armored opponents and scavs. Another option is to get the MP5K from Peacekeeper level 1. It shoots the same 9x19 bullets, but you have the option to go full auto with it and pair it with 20 round magazines. Be advised that this gun in full auto kicks like a mule. Leave it on single fire and you'll have an additional 3 bullets per mag compared to the Glock 17. The iron sights are a little bit different, but this comes down to personal preference. Both are decent picks, with the MP5K having the option to go full auto when in a tight spot. What I would absolutely not recommend is to use the AKS-74U. It's sold by proper and these have always been noob traps. Their recoil is insane, especially for a beginner. On top of that, the 545 AK ammo you can get from level 1 is absolutely terrible. There is never a reason to run these at level 1 when you have better and cheaper alternatives. Point 3. Learning the basic keybinds, the maps and game mechanics with offline mode. This mode is fantastic, both for beginners and more experienced players. The biggest benefit of offline mode is that you can practice, explore the maps and get used to the game mechanics at zero risk of losing anything. Whenever you go into an online raid, anything on your person is lost upon death, excluding the items in your secure container, your melee slot and your compass slot. You will always keep these no matter what, but you will lose your armor, your weapon, your backpack and anything else. In offline mode, however, there is no progression at all. You can fire all of your bullets in offline mode and they will still be there on your character when you disconnect, die or extract from an offline raid. This means that you will never lose your loadout in offline. You will not run into players and can set up different parameters to enable or disable scavs, bosses and change their difficulty and their amount. What I would advise is to start on customs. You will see a lot of this map in your beginner quest, so it's best to start to learn the layout of it now. Use your PMC that you have just built with this mats and weapon of your choice. Your PMC should be fully ready for a first raid at this point. Go to Escape from Tarkov from the main menu, choose your PMC character. Click on Customs. Select the time phase as daytime so you can actually see where you're going. Click Next. Click the box on Enable Offline Mode for this raid. From here, the options down below should light up. If you just want to explore the map, you can leave Enable PvP disabled. PvE means player versus environment and this will enable the AI scavs and or bosses. However, I would suggest to enable these. You gotta learn the basics of a firefight at some point anyway. And I think the only way to truly learn how to swim is to just dive in the deep. Enable PvE. Set the AI difficulty as online. This is the difficulty you will be facing up in the future anyway. Leave AI amount to as online too, for the same reason. Leave the other options unchecked. Click Next, and then ready to start loading in. And again, you will not lose anything from an offline raid. Items you pick up and extract with will be gone when you return to the main menu. There's absolutely no progression. This is just a test run and your PMC will be in the same state of how he was when you went in, after an extract or after a death. Use offline mode to learn the basics. Get used to the keybinds. Learn how the medical system works and how to use your gun. Get used to aiming and learning the basic layouts of the map. On the topic of maps, definitely go check out the Escape from Tarkov wiki. They have some crazy good maps made by the community, and their website in general is a goldmine for anyone looking to learn Escape from Tarkov. Their site will be linked down below. Search there for any map you're trying to learn and scroll down the page to find their community made maps. They are loads better than the in-game sold maps. I would not bother with the in-game ones at all, because I find them to be a bit of a waste of money. When you're loaded into your offline customs raid, open your settings. Change your settings to where you're comfortable. Take a look at your key bindings. There are a few keybinds that are not listed here, which we'll go over in a bit. Many of the keybinds listed don't see much use, so don't worry about all of them just yet. I have not rebound many keys, as I find the default binds to be good enough for the most part. The only ones I have rebound are the following. Normally you will have check time on the O key, and then check time and exits on double press O key. I have removed the first bind altogether. There is no reason to just check the time. You'll find yourself checking for your exits quite frequently, and it will always display the time along with it when you do so. So I removed the bind to just check the time and bound check time and the exits to a single press of the O key. Another bind that I changed is that of the console. The console is normally bound to a single press of the tilde key. Whenever open, you can type in FPS 1 or FPS 2 to display FPS and more stats. I don't personally use this because it messes with my immersion. If you want to get rid of the stats, open the console again and type in FPS 0. I found myself quite often accidentally opening the console when I fat fingered the button in the middle of a firefight. This will get you killed. So I changed the bind from a single press of the tilde key to a double press instead. Now I never open it by accident anymore. This might save your life at some point. Next up, discard. Discarding items from your inventory or anyone else's inventory when they've died is something you'll find yourself doing quite a lot in Tarkov. You can discard items by hovering over them with the mouse and pressing the delete key on the keyboard. It's quite a long way to travel your hand all the way from the WASD keys all across the keyboard to the delete key. So I set up a secondary bind for this as left shift plus left mouse click. This means that my left hand can stay on the WASD keys and all I have to do is hold down shift and click on an item to instantly discard it. This speeds up basic looting by a lot. On the topic of basic looting, learn how to use the control and alt plus left mouse clicks respectively. These binds are not listed in the keybind menu, but I use them all the time to speed up my looting. It works as follows. Whenever you want to move an item from a container to your personal inventory, so your backpack, chest rig or your pockets, hover over that item and hold down Control. Then click the item. It will immediately go to any free available slots in your bag. When you loot a scav or any container that has equipable items, such as maybe a helmet, a body armor or anything that you can equip on your person, then hold down the left alt and left click this item. This will instantly equip said item as long as it's compatible. Point 4. Do your scav runs. I've said many things in the past and made quite a few videos about my scav runs before. I love scav runs. You will find your scav when you go to select a map. Your scav will be on a cooldown after use and will come with a free loadout. Your scav should be used as your first steps into online raids. The benefit of your scav are that any item you spawn with is entirely free. It's free real estate. You will find yourself spawn into the raid a little later than you would on your PMC. In a lot of cases, this means that most of the action has already happened. There will be dead players for you to loot if you find their bodies. The map will be a little bit less contested as some of the PMCs may have already extracted. On top of this, other AI scavs you meet will be friendly to you, where they are aggressive towards other PMCs. Scavs are a great way to get your feet wet and learning the game. Their progression is entirely separate from your PMC, and you cannot complete any PMC quest given to you by traders when you play on your scav. But they are a great way to learn, explore and make a lot of money. You should always do your scav runs whenever it's off cooldown. Point 5. Quests and leveling up your PMC and unlocking traders. When you feel comfortable enough to start heading into online raids on your PMC, start by doing the quest. Online raids are definitely the best way to learn, and this is the intended way to play Tarkov. It's the only way for you to actually progress and keep any items you extract with. You will die and you will lose your items. Such is the nature of the game. But completing quests on your PMC will give you a lot of experience and level your character up. The higher level you get, the more access you will start to get to higher leveled equipment. You need PMC levels to start leveling up your traders and to unlock the flea market at level 10. The flea market is the player-driven market where you can sell a lot of items for generally a much higher price than what the traders would give for it. Especially right now just after a wipe, because a lot of players still need items for the hideout and quests. But don't worry about the flea market just yet. This will come in time. Right now, it's important to understand how leveling up your traders works. When you go to trading in the main menu and click on any trader except Fence, forget about Fence, he has no progression in the game currently, you will see your current standings with them in the top right corner. Each of the traders except for Fence has 4 tiers of loyalty, or 4 levels for you to unlock. We all start at level 1. To unlock the next loyalty level, you will need your PMC level, reputation with the trader, and money spent with that trader. The PMC level is straightforward. You'll get experience for just about any action you complete in the raid, whether it is to kill an enemy, loot the bag, or pick up an item. This experience will give you levels, and those levels are reflected and needed for the traders to be leveled up. Surviving raids and completing quests for traders will give you a massive experience boost, which is why it's recommended to start doing your quest as soon as you can. Next up, trader reputation. This is indicated again in the top right of the screen of the trader, by the vertical bars and the upwards arrow. Reputation is something you will get after completing quests for that specific trader. You will need a set amount of reputation to progress and unlock higher tiers of that trader. Some quests also unlock specific items to be sold by said trader. So the TLDR is definitely to do your quest. Last but not least, we have on the far right the money spent. Money spent is an indicator of how much business you've done with said trader. You need to have a set amount of money spent to level them up. This counts for both the amount of money you have to spend buying equipment off them, but also what you sell to them. So if I sell proper a gun for 20k rubles, for example, my money spent will be increased by 20k. And I think that's about it. This should be all you need to know to get started in Escape from Tarkov. One more thing I would like to add is that if you find yourself struggling a lot in this game, know you are not alone. This game has a massive learning curve and the start is definitely the most difficult. You will be under-equipped, so already at a disadvantage. You will have no map knowledge or deeper understanding of the game mechanics and the universe. It will be tough. You will die. It will only get easier moving forward. If you don't want to play alone, make sure you check out our Discord. We have a bunch of very active and friendly community members in there. We have learning channels and places for you to meet up and play with each other. Many of our members are very understanding and forthcoming to helping newer players. We all know how tough it is. Please don't hesitate and join the Discord link below if you ever want to team up and learn from and with members of our community. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like to let me know to make more of this type of video in the future. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Less than a third of you who watch my videos are actually subscribed, and it would help me and my channel out tremendously if you would click that button and stay up to date with my uploads. Last but not least, if you like to learn EFT in a chill way, enjoy some laughs and watch me meme around and get myself into stupid situations in Tarkov, make sure you check out the live stream over at twitch.tv/KRASHED. It's the best way to interact with me and our community and ask and learn about the game in general. Hope to see you there, and don't forget to leave a like if you want to see more of this kind of video. See ya! Nice, this is all BT. But that's the max I took from the other rig. PST I don't need. I'm dead. Yep. Well, welcome to Tarkov. GG.